I'm back, and oh my gosh, what a week it has been. Over the last 8 days, there has been a massive hack unveiled, not taken place, unveiled. We'll have more precise details on that coming soon. This isn't going anywhere as far as I can tell. It's been in the news all week. Yeah. Okay, this is a massive hack. It's a hack on a company called Solarwinds. I don't have all the details here. I'm still looking through other posts trying to find everything. So be patient with me whilst I try and get every single piece of information that is out there. But this is not good. We've got access to multiple departments of the US government, multiple massive companies. It's supposedly sponsored by Russian hackers. It's supposedly completed by Russian state hackers. It's supposedly been going on. Now, it began as far back as March, supposedly, but only came to light when perpetrators used that access to break into the security firm FireEye, and this breach was first disclosed on December 9th. There are multiple companies that have been affected by this. So that's kind of our big news story for today, I guess. Al Jazeera journalists have been targeted in iOS spyware attacks, so we're going to find out more about this. Trump is saying that this is under control. Not exactly. Yeah, that's not very good to hear. So we'll go with what Trump's saying about it, because he is still currently the sitting president. Thankfully, not much longer. Well, not thankfully, but not for much long. However, Joe Biden won the election. It's been certified in the Electoral College now. And on some nicer news, depending on who you are, Google's won approval for the Fitbit acquisition in the EU. So that's definitely good to see. So let's start with the kind of lighter news that's not too we'll go in escalating order here. So Google's Fitbit acquisition wins EU approval. Google has agreed not to use Fitbit health data to target ads to EU users. This was they said they wouldn't do this when they announced this. They announced this in November of last year. It's taken a year, and about a year and 1 month or so. And in their original press release, I remember reading, at the same time as I said troubles will arise, I remember reading in their original press release, hey, we're not going to use this for ad tracking. It was an original promise, which I find kind of ridiculous that it took this long. But basically, regulators very quickly became involved. So in August, they formally began investigating Google's purchase of Fitbits over the data privacy and antitrust concerns. Fair play. Google's a massive company, has to know what they're going to do with the data. I don't blame them for needing to do this. I'm just saying, why couldn't it happen a bit quicker? But the deal has been approved by the EU, with Google agreeing to a number of concessions. So Google has agreed not to use Fitbit data, including GPS and health data, gathered from any user in the EEA, European Economic Area, aka basically within the EU. UK is now exempt from this, so this doesn't actually apply to me anymore. It would have before the end of this year. The company is also ordered to maintain a technical separation between business and that of Fitbits, and to give EEA users the option to approve or deny the use of fitness health data to inform other Google services. Lots of these things will just make their way over into the general acquisition, I think, because this separation has to happen on a large scale. You can't do it with just EEA users, so that's going to happen with all users around the globe, I think. As for the option of whether it informs other Google products or not, I think that will happen immediately, because you would need to link your Google account with your Fitbit account for it to take place. So that will come up as your, do you want this or not, and then there will be a further setting to say, okay, final choice, do you want this? So I don't know. The approval also stipulates that Google had to maintain commitments related to Fitbit's web API and its own Android API that foster competition, and will be in place for over 10 years. I believe they've also just kind of stipulated that Google can't shut out other Fitbit companies. Australia's Competition and Consumer Commission late last month published 3 Google concessions meant to allay competition and privacy concerns. So these are... Come on, load. Here we go, yeah. So, their proposed undertaking from Google in Australia would be the same as it is, so 10 years of not using data collected through Fitbit and Google wearables for Google's advertising purposes for 10 years, with an option for the ACCC to extend this obligation by up to a further 10 years. That's 20 years of that, that's more than lots of people have to worry about. Maintain access to third parties such as health and fitness apps to collect user data through Fitbit and Google wearable devices for 10 years, and maintain levels of interoperability between third-party wearables and Android smartphones for 10 years. I think Google will agree with that easily. There's no reason for them not to, really. At the end of the day, everything benefits their platform with growth. If they shut down those platforms and stop them from connecting to Android, it would just really annoy people, and people would switch to iPhones, so it's in Google's best interest to keep all of that as best as they can. So I think that's a no-brainer, really, and I hope this all goes through fairly quickly. With them only announcing that last week, I think it's only a matter of time before Google approve, once the whole Solarwinds hack is sorted out. But first, let's go on to Al Jazeera journalists being targeted. So, groups linked with Saudi Arabia and the UAE are supposedly behind these attacks. This is reports, not confirmed. Take it with a pinch of salt, please. Again, I'm just a messenger here. So 36 personal phones belonging to Al Jazeera journalists, producers, anchors and executives were hacked in a spyware campaign between July and August 2020. This has been alleged by Citizen Lab in a new report. The attacks reportedly used Pegasus technology provided by the Israeli firm NSO Group and are thought to be the work of 4 operators, with Citizen Lab saying it has medium confidence that one is working on behalf of the UAE government and another for the Saudi government. For those who are unaware of what Pegasus is, it's basically massive spyware. You get access to everything on the device. Camera, phone call recordings, everything. If you want it, you can have it. It's terrible for these people. They've lost their life. They could lose their livelihoods. Now, they're politically motivated targeting a journalist, which is worrying enough. But it's also part of a trend using increasingly advanced methods that are harder to detect. This is a very hard to detect thing. The attack also used a zero-click exploit to compromise iPhones via iMessage. So this particular exploit appears to come in via iMessage, and the victim needed to do nothing, and less of a trace once, and basically no trace was left once it was infected. In July 2020, the exploit chain was a 0-day. However, iOS 14 not thought to be vulnerable. So, almost all iPhone devices not updated to iOS 14 are vulnerable, supposedly, and meaning infections, if found, are likely to be a minuscule fraction of the total number. Findings have been disclosed to Apple and the company looking into the issue. However, the analysis says that the spyware can record audio from a phone, including ambient noise and audio from phone calls, as I said, take photos, track location, access passwords, basically everything. It discovered one of the hacks after Al Jazeera journalist Tamer Al-Mishal allowed the organisation to install a VPN on his device because he was worried it might have been compromised. Using the software, System allowed notice that his phone visited suspected installation server for NSO Group's spyware. Seconds later, where does that go? Hang on. Yeah, second later, his phone uploaded over 200 megabits of data to 3 IP addresses for the first time, as well as the Al Jazeera employees, a journalist with Al Arabi TV, Raina Friday, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, also a victim of hacks, and appears to date back to October 2019, including 2 0-day exploits. Not the first time this has been alleged to be used from NSO Group to target journalists. The software was allegedly used against journalists in Morocco, Rwanda, and political dissidents from Rwanda and Spanish politicians. NSO Group were contacted for a comment, and they said that it's based on speculation and lacks any evidence supporting a connection to NSO, saying that NSO provides products that enable government law enforcement agencies to tackle serious crime. However, when we receive credible evidence of misuse with enough information, which enable us to access such credibility, they take all necessary steps. So, as a result of the investigation, Citizen Lab is calling for more regulations over the use of surveillance technology, as to be seen, and this is terrible. However, there is a much bigger hack, which is... This is horrific. This is absolutely horrific. Solarwinds. You might not know them, you probably never heard of them. But if you want to talk about a cybersecurity hack, that would make for a great case study. Solarwinds. So Solarwinds is a massive company. It's a massive company. Now, Routers has got multiple things, and okay, so this is kind of a list of links that I can do. So this is perfect. Okay, cool. So I actually got loads of links from this one Wired article. So let's first take a look at why Solarwinds were the perfect point of entry. So Solarwinds appears to have been stupid cookie rooms. I can't wait to be out of the EU. I probably won't see those anymore. Refresh. Sorry, I thought I had everything I needed. Turns out I didn't. Again, this is a massive thing, and this is just what's going to have to happen. Okay, allow all, and actually allow me to... Okay, right. So, Solarwinds is a massive company, and in an earnings call 2 months ago, Solarwinds' chief executive touted how far the company had gone during his 11 years at the helm. Unfortunately, that dominance is being used against it. So, there is not a... Basically, almost every database or IT deployment model out there in the world uses a level of monitoring or management from SolarWinds, according to the CEO, Kevin Thompson, is what he said to analysts on the October 27th call. Quote, "We don't think anyone else in the market is really even close in terms of the breadth of coverage we have. We manage everyone's network gear," end quote. This is the biggest liability you can have. A single company like Google has access to basically every company's data, from Microsoft to the Department of Homeland Security. They are the ones people are searching with. They all have accounts with them. They use it loads. Now, obviously, Microsoft don't. Yeah, the point is, with companies of this size, and with everyone using them so much, it's horrific. Because one hack is devastating. And, unfortunately, on Monday, a week ago today, SolarWinds confirmed that Orion, its flagship network management software, had served as the unwitting conduit for an international cyber espionage operation. Now, the hackers somehow managed to insert malicious code into an Orion software update that was pushed out to nearly 18,000 of their customers. Oh my god. Now, the number of affected organisations is thought to be much more modest, but considering that the US Treasury and Department of Commerce are affected, it's already terrible. Now, we also know that part of Homeland Security going to be going on, and there will be a list of some of the victims that I'll go over in a bit. Now, a SolarWinds representative, Ryan Toohey, said he would not be making executives available for comment. Fair play. But in a statement issued the day before, the company said they strive to implement and maintain appropriate administrative, physical and technical safeguards to protect their customers. Now, these updates were sent between March and June, just as the world started going into lockdown. Either perfect timing for this. Now, assessing the damage of this is going to be very difficult. This is only the surface, and it's going to take months for these things to be scanned and checked and triple checked. It's going to be a while before we know everything. That is something that we all have to be aware of now. Now, the impact on Solarwinds is very immediate. US officials ordered anyone running Orion to immediately disconnect it, and the company's stock has tumbled more than 23%. From 23 US dollars, I believe, from 23.50 to 18.06 per share. That is a massive downfall. And their security is under massive scrutiny. Now, multiple criminals have actually offered to sell access to Solarwinds computers through underground forms, apparently, according to 2 researchers who separately had access to these forms. One of them claimed access over the exploit form in 2017 with known as FXMSP. So yeah, and he's wanted by the FBI. Yeah. And last year, oh wow, this is terrible. Last year, anyone could access SolarWinds update server by using the password SolarWinds123. So it's not even like it was that hard, actually, if they did this back then. However, these aren't considered the most likely source of the intrusion, apparently. Yeah, apparently days after SolarWinds realised the software was compromised, the updates were still available for download, and the firm has long mooted the idea of spinning off its managed service provider business, and on December 9th announced that Thompson would be replaced by Sudhakar Ramakrishna, the former CEO of PulseSecure. So that's definitely massive. And 3 weeks ago, SolarWinds posted a job ad seeking a new vice president for security, with positions still being open. Oh. Wow, okay, this is massive. Yeah, this is really not going anywhere as far as I can see from that. So, wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm just still kind of wowing from this. Yeah, this is going to be a massive thing, and we won't know everyone who's been affected at all for a very long time. It will take a while before we know every single company who is affected, so keep your guards up. But this is massive. So let's go over to a bit more kind of a thing. So in a bit more detail that we have on here, we've got a lot of stories to go through today on this. Bleeping Computer have also reported on this. Yeah, let's scroll down to the victims. I believe they have a whole list of victims. Here we go, we have a list of certain victims. So, a company known as FireEye, the US Department of Treasury, US National Telecoms and Information Administration, US Department of State. That's amazing. The National Institutes of Health, either NIH, part of the US Department of Health, the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Energy, Nuclear Security Administration, certain US states, the specific data are undisclosed, are by Microsoft and Cisco. Now, Microsoft has also identified and notified more than 40 of its customers affected by this attack, but has not disclosed their names. Fair play. 80% of the victims were from the US, and 44% were in the IT sector. Yeah, this is... Yeah, wow. Wow, okay. Yeah. We think many more companies, or it's speculated that many more companies were involved. Yeah. Wow, this is Sorry, this is massive. I've been looking at this for the last 3 days, but when you fully read through everything, you realise kind of how bad it was. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible, both for Solarwinds themselves. This is going to devastate their business. And at the same time as having their business devastated, it's just not good for any of the companies involved, because suddenly their data are going to be being accessed by these hackers, and when the Nuclear Security Administration has been hacked, this isn't good. Now, okay, so they have put out a statement saying what was compromised. So they're saying that at this moment, the investigation has found that the malware has been isolated to business networks only, and had not impacted the mission essential national security functions of the department. So that's good, I guess, but we don't know what will happen as the investigation continues. This is really not good, to be honest. Wow, okay. Yeah, there's 40 victims, with 80% of those from the US. I'll keep you updated with more as news comes in on this story. I don't think it's going to be going anywhere. It's been a week, but I don't think all the news is out yet, as far as I can tell. Microsoft president has sounded alarm over this attack as well, so we obviously know it's not minor. Okay, hang on. I know you want to load. Here we go. Okay, so it's not espionage as usual, according to Brad Smith, president of Microsoft. The hack is still ongoing until Solarwinds actually patch this. They need to release a patch to get rid of the code, but until that happens, it won't be done. So I don't know when that's going to be done or not. I'd assume it will be done fairly quickly. It should be done by now, to be honest. But Microsoft believe it to be very dangerous, and it, quote, represents an act of recklessness that creates a serious technological vulnerability for the United States and the world, end quote. Apparently it's not an attack on specific targets, but on trust and reliability of critical infrastructure to advance a nation's intelligence agency. However, it doesn't explicitly accuse Russia. Weeks ahead will provide indisputable evidence about the source of these attacks, according to Smith. Now, there is a map here. Lots of it is in the US. I believe some of it possibly in Canada. I don't know, though. Don't quote me on that. Definitely across the UK and Europe as well. It's a lot of companies. So we've got countries, so US, Canada, Mexico, Belgium, Spain, the UK, Israel, and the UAE. No one in Russia, though. Surprise, surprise. But the number will supposedly keep growing as people identify it. Investigations are ongoing. The FBI and CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, as well as the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, so that they are coordinating a government response to the incident. And Smith warned we should be prepared for stories about additional victims to come out. Microsoft has been hacked as part of a breach as well. Don't be fooled, Microsoft are hacked. Its own products also leveraged to further the attack on others, apparently. But Microsoft had denied that claim, however. So we don't know whether Microsoft servers products have been leveraged to further the attacks on others. I don't believe that would have happened, but if it has been, it has. Microsoft is denying it at this time. Now, Microsoft have been responding to hacks since December 13th, including blocking versions of it with the malware. Microsoft and a coalition of tech companies also seek control of a domain that played a key role in the SolarWinds breach. And however, SolarWinds has taken the step of hiding a list of high-profile clients from its website, possibly protecting them from negative publicity. It included more than 425 of the Fortune 500 companies. Wow, okay. Yeah. This is really not going anywhere. In terms of the comments response here, let's just listen to this. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at what President Trump is saying here. Now, lots of companies and lots of news agencies and lots of people are saying it's Russia. Yeah? Like, the overwhelming thing is it's Russia who's doing this. Yeah? Trump is saying that it's under control. Not true. Microsoft are warning very strongly against that, and frankly, I believe Microsoft way more than I do about Trump. On January 22nd, 2020, quote, "We have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China. We have it under control. It's going to be just fine," end quote. That was Donald Trump on COVID-19 on January 22nd of 2020. February 24th, he said it's much under control in the USA, and on March 15th, he said it's incredible, but it's something we have tremendous control over. Trump today, quote, "The cyber hack is far greater than fake news media than in actuality. I have been fully briefed and everything is well under control. Russia, Russia, Russia is a priority chant when anything happens because mainstream is, for most financial reasons, petrified of discussing the possibility that it may be China. It may, in brackets with an exclamation mark. There could also have been a hit on our ridiculous voting machines during the election, which is now obvious that I won big, making it an even more corrupted embarrassment for USA. At DNI_Ratcliffe at Sec Pompeo," end quote. At the bottom of Trump's second tweet in that string of tweets, it actually has election officials have certified Joe Biden as the winner of the US presidential election. Yeah, congrats to President-elect Joe Biden, by the way. Deserved win. You know, both candidates put their best foot forward. Biden came through. Let's hope he does a good job. Now, a few perspectives on the SolarWinds hack from entities that do not currently have negative credibility. The US government's leading agencies, the CISA, have determined it poses a grave risk to the federal government and state, local, tribal and territorial governments. Mike Pompeo, we can say pretty clearly it was the Russians that engaged in this activity. A former DHS advisor, Thomas Bozert, magnitude of this attack is hard to overstate. Former CISA Director Christopher Krebs, who was fired by Trump for calling out against lies about election fraud, said, quote, "Do not conflate voting system security and SolarWinds. The proof is in the paper. You can audit or recount again to confirm the outcome, like they did in Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin and Arizona. Can't hack paper," end quote. Yeah, the votes came through as they came through. It's officialised. Don't believe what Trump's saying with that. And Senator Mac Warner, a Democrat, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, said it's a devastating breach of the US networks and shows that the President and White House are not taking the issue seriously enough. Yeah, this is basically, I'm just reading this out to inform any listeners out there that this is not a nothing deal. This is not a small thing that's occurring. This is an issue. This is a hack. I'm not scared. I'm not doing this to scare tactics. Anyone listening to this needs to be aware now. This is an issue. I'll update you as more information comes in, but now to keep an eye on the news, make sure you're aware of what's going on with companies that you're personally connected to. Google, Amazon, if they're a company that has your data, make sure you keep track of this in case personal data has been accessed. It wouldn't be unlikely. So yeah, but for now, that's everything from me. Sorry I've gone for so long. I had mocks and I decided to take a few days extra rest to recuperate, but I am done, and it's the Christmas holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone as well. In case I don't make a Merry Christmas episode, I'll probably put a Merry Christmas thing on the podcast. Just 10 seconds saying Merry Christmas. But now, everyone, have a great Christmas. It's holidays over here in the UK. I'm assuming it will be in most other countries as well. And that's everything. I'll see you all in the next episode. Also, go to the Down Out Digital World website. I do have a few articles on there. Solarwinds isn't on there yet. It's a developing story. I will put an article on there relatively soon. Probably not today, possibly tomorrow. I just want to let some more information come through. But that's everything for now. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you in the next episode.